Hello, and welcome to the 2021-2022 CAA Science Training. We truly appreciate your attendance. In the next few slides, we will provide you with the necessary information to successfully administer the CAA Science Assessment to your students throughout the school year. Today we are going to answer the following guiding questions. When can we begin assessing our students? How and when do we talk to parents? Who do we assess? And what information does the assessment contain? Please remember that you can begin assessing your students after completing this training as early as the first week in September. You have until the end of the school year to complete all CAA science testing for your students. The purpose of this is to ensure you have the opportunity to assess your students right after teaching the academic information. Alternate for all. This means that each identified student who needs an alternate assessment must be identified for needing it both for the LPAC and the CAASPP. So how do we begin talking to our parents? It's important that you begin talking to your parents during IEP meetings, open house, share this information with your site leaders, and remember, informed parents make great partners. There's a PowerPoint presentation linked at the bottom of this slide that you can use to talk to your parents about CAA testing. Who do you assess? You can assess students in 5th, 8th, or once in high school. You are not allowed to assess your students in 9th grade, however, they can be assessed in 10th, 11th, or 12th grade. We encourage high school students to be assessed after the completion of their last science class. There are 3 areas of study: Earth and Space Sciences, Life Sciences, and Physical Science. Our goal through administration of these assessments is to obtain a true picture as to what each individual student understands, not how well they can take an assessment. Here you are provided with a planning guide to help you structure your lesson content. Once completed, it is highly encouraged that you assess your student. Waiting till the end of the year may not provide you and the IEP team, including the student's family, with an accurate picture of what the student truly understands. Please remember, the California Alternate Assessment is administered one-to-one. The assessment may take between 60 to 100 minutes per performance task. However, please note that the assessment is untimed. And if necessary, you have as many days to administer this assessment as needed for each particular student. Any examiner resources that you do print, including directions for administrations, please ensure that you destroy them as they are secure material. Here is a copy of what we call the bento box. Within this bento box, we provide universal tools, designated supports, and accommodations for students. However, being that you are assessing your student who will be taking a California alternate assessment, there is no need for any of these additional tools or accommodations, as the assessment is done one-on-one with a test examiner. So where do we move from here? Please note that there is a new mandatory Moodle training for all California alternate administrators. The link will be available here at this site that is attached to the top of this screen. Test examiners must complete both tutorial modules prior to administering a science performance task to students. Progress through the California Alternate Assessment tutorials will be saved for users, allowing you to complete them across multiple sessions. Once you complete this training and it is noted in Safe Schools, Mr. Walter Shaw will send you the Moodle key information necessary to access the Moodle training. Please note there are 3 tutorial options available on Moodle. It's important that you also complete the ELA and Math Moodle tutorial, as you will need to give your students the ELA and Math CAA assessment at the end of the school year. You will note that this one is a combined option on the bottom of this slide. Both the general and science tutorials are combined, and you may note here that they will be available starting September 7th, 2021. If the test examiner believes that they will be administering the California Alternate Assessment for Science, ELA, and Math, as mentioned, you should do the combined option. By doing the combined option, the test examiners will not have to complete the general session at the end of the school year. You will receive a certificate of completion that shows as evidence that you have completed the training. To receive the certificate, you must watch the Moodle video completely and answer all in-module Moodle questions correctly for both tutorials. So where do you begin? The first thing that you're going to want to do is check to ensure that all of your students' IEPs are correct and that your students, if identified as needing an alternate assessment, it does view as alternate for all, meaning that the student will be taking the alternate assessment for both ELA and Math, for CAASPP, CAA for Science, and the alternate for LPAC. If it is determined that you will administer the California Alternate Assessment, you will do the Moodle training, and we will be sending you the Moodle key once you have completed this online video tutorial. You will then need to determine your pacing guide so you know when you will need to administer these assessments throughout the school year. It's important that you understand the response options in which students may present when giving a response and what score the student should receive and how to proceed based on that each individual student response. Ensure your test site coordinator has granted you access to TOMS. Print out your practice sheets and scoring guides, and you can locate and print your directions for administration once you have identified your version number. Please click under number 7 to identify your site's version number. If your school site is not listed, then please know that you will be identified as version 1 for your school site. The final resources that we want to offer to help you prepare is practice tests and scoring guides, response options that your students may provide for you, understanding science administration for high school students. Please remember the Moodle link will be sent to you upon completion of this training.